back to the North Star,
your source of social justice issues. Reporting live from Riverside, California, my name is Alexander Gamas.
and my name is Ana Diaz, and in today's headline we will be taking you live to the streets of the Inland Empire where we see protesters fighting for a new curriculum reform.
That's right. Protesters are asking for more inclusivity of the ethnic perspective because they claim that there's too much Eurocentric perspective in history's curriculum.
For more on this, we're taking you live to the front line of the protest where we see our journalist Kim interviewing the protesters. Kim?
Hi, this is Kim reporting from the campus of UC Riverside, where protesters want to see more of the minority perspective in our nation's curriculum. Although curriculum implements topics regarding Cesar Chavez and Martin Luther King Jr., there's a pushback saying that all information in U.S. textbooks come from a Eurocentric perspective and not enough from the ethnic perspective. Let's go talk to some of our protesters. Hello, sir. Can you tell us what you're here for?
Yeah, I'm here because I want to see myself represented in textbooks. We continuously see these textbooks leave out key details in United States history just because minority backgrounds, they're not being represented, and although they are a huge part of what created this country, we continuously see them being left out.
And what's the next step from here?
They're really trying to get the school district's attention in the hopes of reforming the curriculum. With more build-ups of awareness, they also hope to inspire other students to have them join their efforts.
Thank you very much for your reporting of the public, Kim.
Now we're going to move on to our correspondent Dilcy, who went into the field to interview some of our professionals.
Thanks, Alex. As the debate over history textbooks continues, some start to question what influence history textbooks actually have on students. Some go as far as to say the Eurocentric perspective in history textbooks influences the construction of identity. We sat down and spoke to a UC Riverside student who had something to say in regards to how history is taught.
Obviously, we know that Thanksgiving is like a sham. What we did to the Native Americans and the whole story of Columbus and everything, like there's more to that. There's got to be more to that than just Columbus came over here and like declared this America.
To further discuss this issue, I met with 3 professionals in the field of education, and we started with a simple question. What is the objective of teaching history?
Often history is sort of this progressive narrative that brings us together with inevitable march of progress and expansion of freedom for all groups. But again, usually has more silences than not when it comes to the kinds of things that we've done with indigenous people, and African Americans, and Latinx people, and all sorts of different groups throughout history.
Silences. Could history textbooks really be silencing the narrative of minority groups? Isn't history inclusive of all people that have contributed to this country?
Well, it is, but again, you have to say, how are they being included and for what purposes, and whose story are they, perpetuating and moving forward?
So if history selects whose narrative is being told, then could this influence the formation of students' identity? That's the question we all want to know. Mrs. Christina Luna, a kindergarten teacher, recalls her time in education and how a Eurocentric perspective influenced the way she thought of herself as a Latina.
When we see pictures, in books, we see Americans, and it always tends to be light-skinned people, light-colored hair, colored, light-colored eyes, and we see them, and they speak English. Those were the Americans, the ones that came and explored and conquered. Those were the Americans. I'm not American. I don't look like that. There's not enough representation.
And I've had students tell me, they see themselves disappear in the narrative throughout the year when I'm observing their classes, and they're wondering, well, what happened to us? Where are we?
Astonishing findings. But is there a solution? Our research team found 2 possible solutions. Number 1, focus on teachers. I came across a brilliant 8th grade teacher, Mr. Romer.
Me personally, I don't think the textbook's enough. So because of my course at UCR, the extension course on social science methods, we had to find other resources that do just that. This is extremely brief, and it's very bland. It doesn't really capture how things could have gone this way or could have gone that way. It just says what happened. So I find that this particular source is a lot of what I want, and that is it provides a lot of discussion.
The second solution this investigation concluded was the need for teachers of color.
the teaching force is 80% white and mainly female. And so part of getting students involved and getting more critical is bringing in more teachers of color who bring different life experiences. They're situated differently. They have different ideas and perspectives. And that does open up a position, an opportunity for students to be more engaged and be more critical. If someone that you can identify with provides more opportunities in the learning environment.
Now, according to our investigation, history textbooks do influence the way students of color construct an identity. But despite the negativity in history textbooks, there is hope. Educators like Mrs. Luna, Mr. Romer, and Professor Wills are examples of hopefulness. I'm Dulcie reporting to you live. Now back to you in the studio.
And there you have it. Thank you, Kim and Dulcie, for your reporting on this issue. In other news, coronavirus-themed party sparks outrage at the University of Alabama.
More on this after the break.